You could be wiser as an educated advisor. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, our economic environment and how it can dictate our financial behavior, part one of our series on consumer financial awareness with financial advisor and president of the Society for Financial Awareness, Jim Chilton. And that's all here on Let's Get Down to Business. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thanks, Steve. Happy to be here.
Well, does our environment, our upbringing, does it really dictate to the psychonomics of how we approach money? Is this really important to know?
Totally. It's always about behavior. Money is oxygen. And the idea that we can craft our behavior and not realize it can either make us very good and very wealthy and very successful, or it can craft us right into being our own victim, wondering why the world is passing us by, we're not succeeding, and we're down. We're just down. Behavior is everything. In business, you sum up, you've got four basic personalities, right? You've got the analytical, you have the expressive, you have the amiable, and you have the driver. Mm-hmm. Well, those basic personality traits work into the individual with money. Now, most of America is on a ready, fire, aim mentality, if you think about it. We talk about our economy. When the economy's going bad, whatever it is, it's almost a head scratcher, Steve. If the economy's going bad, it means that we as Americans are not running up our debt, mm-hmm. using our credit cards, and going deeper and deeper in the hole. Versus counterintuitive, right? About, the economy is terrific because the rate of savings per individual is terrific. The debt is going down. People are getting control of their assets, and their retirement is looking pretty good.
Well, when you think about this, is this coming from our environment? We are aiming, and you said ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
Aim should be more in the front end of that. Is that part of our upbringing that has been really not really good education and money?
Let's just think about that. And I know we'll talk about, you're going to drill me on about public education, but let's get into that. Where did our parents learn about cash management? Mm-hmm. If it wasn't in the schools, then connect the dots. Mm-hmm. From their parents, our grandparents. We raise, and I've been saying this forever, we raise financial illiterates, generation after generation. And I'm not talking that people are stupid. Let's get that taken mm-hmm. care of right up front. Okay. We're talking about uninformed. Mm-hmm. They learn this habits. People love to spend. When is retail in the week at its greatest? On the weekend, mm-hmm. when people are off. There's been study after study. When someone gets paid, what do? Mm-hmm. Charge and go spend. It's an environment that is created. It's around the world. It's not just America.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you think about it, I hear about things, why do we hear about the economy slowing down? When it starts to slow down, you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying, hey, that's because we're not spending.
Correct.
If the consumer's not spending, this economy is going to slow down.
Yeah, and then somehow it's everybody's fault. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's counterintuitive mm-hmm. to logic, mm-hmm. in my opinion.
Well, let's talk about, I remember I had Dr. Singer in here one time, and he was talking about the behaviors based on addictions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's I never think of addictions. I think of alcoholic addiction. I think of drug addiction. I think of sexual addiction. I don't ever think of these kind of discussing habits and addictions in regards to money.
Well, let's start with this one. It's kind of a cheesy saying, but it's been around and it's very true. If we always do what we've always done, we're probably always going to get mm-hmm. what we've always gotten. So if we get our money mm-hmm. and we go spend and we don't have the money, right? And we put it on a credit card. Okay, now think about that. I have 5 kids. They have been basically pimped through America, through the banks, mm-hmm. all the way through from high school into college. I couldn't be throwing it away quick enough. All the offers of a credit card. Now, if you think about that, what are those ingredients in that credit card? Buying something with money you don't have, probably at a price you can't afford, and it's not needed, really. And so, but we use a credit card. I've always told my kids, get a debit card. And if that card says it's declined, God is saying you're not supposed to have that right now because you don't have the dough to pay for it. So when we talk about the economy, think where we would be. What do we have? 38 states out of 50 that have to have a required state balanced budget every year. I mean, think about that. You have a federal government that maybe they'll do a balanced budget, maybe they won't, but life keeps on going. The only time, it's like raising a teenager, the only time the federal government gets serious about money is when the government is about to be shut down and it hits the fan and the bills, certain bills have to be passed, right? So from the top down, our environment is counterintuitive to logically managing our money. It's not taught in the schools. Our parents copy their parents, who copied their parents, and we just perpetuate this fiscal mismanagement.
So we got about 3 or 4 generations down now since the Depression, if I'm hearing you correctly,
Yeah.
that have a misunderstanding of money, total instant gratification by credit cards, and we are addicted to plastic. I mean, that's what I'm hearing you saying.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's say all of what we're saying is true. I do believe you.
Thanks.
All right, now how do I get out of this? You know, Jim Chilton is not the guy. If you're looking for a small adjustment in your financial life, this is not the guy for you. If you're saying, Steve, I need to get off the treadmill here. I need to correct my behavior.
Sure.
I need a major, major course adjustment.
Yeah.
How do I do it?
First thing you do is you got to come clean. You have to, I mean, if you go into Denny's every night and you weigh 400 pounds and you look at the menu and say, yes, okay, you got a problem. Okay, you're an overeater. Well, if you're an overspender, you have to come clean. Okay, and why would you want to reinforce your weight if you're overweight? How many times would you want to step on the scale? Counterintuitive, right? Well, why would you want to go meet with a financial advisor if you already know what's put you in the hole and you can't do it? Now, I know your question. You got it, you know what I mean? How do you solve it? You have to make behavior modification. One of the things that I do with my young clients when they come in is I teach them the behavior of one gets to check off the other one. They're in the mall and they go, you know, honey, that chair would look so good in our bedroom. And the other one has to go, that's right. What would Jim tell me to say? Yes, it would. Now, my question to you, honey, is it nice or necessary? Oh, I guess it's nice. Well, then we don't need to get it right now. Well, I know, but we have this much left on line on our credit card. I know, but if we don't get it, we can pay it down. We have to come clean with our behavior and slow it down to every purchase.
Okay, so let's say we have people that are watching this. You know, this is an advisor show we're talking to. We're talking to advisors. I mean, I don't even know if we drink our own medicine, right?
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say, how many advisors really have a budget? I'm serious. You talk to them about their marketing and their promotion budget, they go, what? Or putting money away for taxes after every sale. What? So you're exactly right. It's everyone, Steve. We're all broken.
All right, so let's just say that we're ready now to have the biggest monetary confession that we've ever had in our life. I mean, we're ready to come and have a come to Jesus meeting, right? Yeah. So we're going to have a meeting. Okay, we are out of control. The guy says, we're not just having a little problem, we're out of control. I've seen guys going to the back of those old paper cutters, those big, they look like guillotines.
Yeah, take your fingers
They're just
off.
taking their plastic because they start cutting them down.
Yeah.
And it's revolutionary for most people when they have to, when they're up against it so hard that they have to change their behavior now because now the guns are there. There is no cash flow now. There is no more credit to be had.
So what I do in that situation is I look at repositioning and repackaging the debt. Any debt that can be thrown into the house, as long as we still have a mortgage deduction, usually maybe by using a home equity line of credit with a little bit of principal and a whole lot of interest only, frees up the money of what they were paying on all their credit cards and their cars and things like that. Free up that difference, then put it in something safe and grow that, and then take a chunk out of that and use it to pay down and drive down that debt. But again, you have to stop the spending while you're repositioning and repackaging the debt. And all that's bad. But still, if you're looking tax-wise, and you know this, some debt you never get to deduct, and the others is you can. Another thing is repositioning your credit cards. Okay? You know, many of these banks give 6-month and 1 year interest-free. So you might roll over the debt over onto one of those cards while you're paying it down and you're not going against 24 or 30 some percent. So, but you have to stay with it. Another thing that advisors, I believe, really have to do is stay close with those people. None of this coming in for an annual checkup nonsense. If you've got someone in a debt issue, you might want to have them send in their results every month on what they're putting in and what they're taking out, and monitor. And once we focus on something and develop that attitude, like losing weight and stepping on that scale and positive reinforcement because the tonnage is dropping, well, it works the same way with money.
Well, don't forget to watch our next segment on how our schools have failed to make our children financially fit. Part 2 of our series on consumer financial awareness. And keep in mind, before moving forward with anything on the show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, and compliance officer. And don't forget to subscribe to my consumer show, Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game. Daily content that you can post on your website, social media accounts, and database distribution. I'm Steve Savant. Thanks for watching.